Hi everybody, welcome back to CoversCorner, week 5 of the garden tour. For you, those of you that don't know me, my name is Stephanie. I live here with my husband Brett, and we have 3 girls that are here with us. We have 9 children between us. Sorry, it's a lot, but 3 of them that are here with us. I'm gonna try to get this tour in real quick before they all wake up inside. But I think Shelby's going to help them wake up a little bit, so we'll see how this goes. Like I said, week 5, it's hard to believe. There's been a lot of changes, and there's a lot of weeds. We've had heat, and it stormed all night last night, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't do a lot of weeding this week. And well, the last couple days I did for a few days, but in the last couple days, because we've been battling bunny rabbits, something we didn't have an issue with last year. Last year we had used, I don't know if you can see that way over there, the wooden fencing that goes all the with the pickets. Like we've cut it down some of it to use, but that's what we had going all the way around our smaller garden last year, so the bunnies couldn't get in. This year, Mama decided to have a couple bunnies in the yard under where the dogs couldn't get. So we had 2 bunnies, baby bunnies running around. So we've had to fortify the fences. So that's taken priority. Weeds I can do whenever. So you will see weeds this week. But there's also a lot of changes too. So here we go. Huge sunflowers. Some of them are still little, like those over there by the cabbage. But I think that's because they were overshadowed by the cabbage for so long when they were growing. So hindsight, right? Okay, so we have peppers. And look at this. I'm so excited. These are our hot peppers. Jalapeno. Little jalapeno growing. This is all of our hot pepper section here. And onions. So they're all looking really good. This kale is ginormous. I've harvested off of it several times. I can't eat a lot of the leafy greens like that are a little bit like tougher because I don't have a gallbladder. I can't eat them, but then I end up like not being very comfortable. So what I've been doing with them is I've actually been dehydrating them, blanching them and dehydrating them, and then I grind them up, and then I can put them in stuff to add the nutrients to that stuff. Like last night, unbeknownst to the kids, they had it in their taco meat. Never said a word about it. So so it's one way, it's one way I'm utilizing it and getting the nutrients out of it. So peas, still just a few straggler peas, but they're, this one's got the blossoms. Oh, it's got a little pea pod on it also. The ones that are here are doing fairly well. Like, this has got some decent sized pods on it. I'll probably come out here. Yep, probably come out here later today, and get some of them. Looks like, yeah, they're all through here. So so I'll probably just come out this later this morning or this afternoon and get them and just put them in with dinner tonight. It's not enough, obviously, to feed a whole family or just peas, but so anyway, acorn squash and weed. So starting to get blossoms on the acorn squash. It's been really hot. If you're not from the area, we're on the eastern shore of Maryland. It was like in the 90s the last couple days. It's supposed to be 86 today. They say it's supposed to cool down a little bit next week. I'll believe it when I see it. So but it's been really, really hot the last couple days. Humidity's been up there too, which is normal. So we went from spring or winter to summer. This is the spaghetti squash, getting some blossoms there. Eggplants are looking a little bit vicious. Now it looks like the flea beetles are getting it. So I'm going to come out here in a little bit, and after the girls get up and get them taken care of, and put some DE and stuff on it. So this is one of the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins we have. Looks like there might be a baby. We had big blossoms on it, but it kind of looks like, I'm wondering if the bunnies didn't get them. We'll keep an eye on it. It's one of the reasons that was really, that we worked really hard to get the fencing up. We still got a few places that we got to put it up, because, you know, Brett's working full time, so we do it around when he gets home. So these sunflowers are huge, getting really big. It's Amy's bed. Excuse the shadows. She's got some blossoms on her tomato and on her peppers. Her cucumbers are taken off between the heat, and then last night it stormed pretty much for several hours last night. Everything is still pretty wet from it compared to what it was. So it's another jack-o'-lantern. Corn is doing really well. This is the cream, peaches and cream bed, the front part. The back half hasn't done anything yet, and I went back and looked at my books, and I thought it was because this one was like several days, like 20 days behind what this one would be for harvesting, but they're really close to it, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. That seed might have got a bum seed. It's weird that we haven't even gotten one. We've got weeds, as you can tell, but I don't want to pull them up yet until I see what's going to happen with the corn. So anyway, oh, look at that. This is the first I replanted, because I had my and of course didn't I tell you, the guys, that when I replanted something else here, that one of the national oh, I can't remember which of the pickling cucumber I planted. I can't remember which one that was, but I told you that they would pop up once I planted something else. And I even waited like 2 weeks past, like, so that those seeds were in the ground for the pickling ones like 3 weeks ago, and that one is just now germinating after these new ones that I just put in. This one's not coming up yet, but there will be one, should be one there. These are oh, I can't think of how to pronounce it. I'll put it on the video. It's a long Japanese cucumber, so that's what I sowed in there, and now looks like we might have a mixture of a pickling and the long one, so it should be interesting. So anyway, we'll go back over here. The pie pumpkins took off. I mean, if you look at last week's video, they were there, these two, but they were nowhere near the size that they are now. So and this one is taken off too, so we're going to start trellising him. I might need to clip it up there to get it started. I've not trellised pumpkins before like that, so this is a kind of a new thing for me too, learning curve, so we'll see what's going on. This kale took off. These were small last week, so I'll be coming out and harvesting some more of that, and if I don't use it like in fresh cooking, I will be dehydrating that also to go in with the greens blend. Excuse my voice. These poor beans are getting eaten alive. This row is so bad. I put DE on them. I'm sure it's ants, because it's only the green beans that they seem to be going after right now. I'll come out and put some more DE, or I might put some neem oil on them, but we're supposed to be getting storms off and on for the next couple days, so I don't want to, you know, put it on there if it's just going to wash back off, so we'll have to see what happens here. Celery's finally making a comeback, looking nice and green now that the cold seems to be gone. Those onions are looking really good there. The pole beans are taking off, climbing up the trellis, I should say. I'll put some more DE on these also, because they're kind of looking rough too. And see, there's the culprit. I don't know if you can see him. Oh, of course, he's camera shy. There are so many ants out here this year. Like I said, I think it's because we always had ants in this part of the yard, but we didn't have the garden in this part of the yard till this year, so we kind of invaded their territory. So we'll be working on getting them out of here. So more of the pole beans on the other side of the arch, and they will trellis up and over the arch. This one's not looking so hot. I'm not sure. He's like the yellow, but these guys are just getting eaten up. I don't think I've ever had I've never had bean plants get eaten up like that. All of my bean plants. But I guess that's just how it goes, right? When you're not using chemical around them. Oh, look, we have blossom now. Look, even being eaten up like that, he's got some blossoms. This one also. So there's hope yet for these bush beans. Bush beans and the pole beans. And I'll have time to do another harvest this fall, so it's not a big deal. More of the pole beans. Trying to make it dizzy, sorry guys. This is my dill that has propagated. I'm just gonna leave it because oddly enough, these beans that have the dill growing in with them are like, I mean, they have some that are being chewed on, but not like these beans right across the aisle. So I don't know if it has anything to do with the dill or not, but can't hurt to leave it, right? Cabbage is looking good. Starting to head up, some of them. Getting some decent sized heads. I'm gonna hit these again with DE in a little bit. Like I said, I'll probably wait a day or two because of the rain. They've got some chewed marks, but you know, that's stuff that was there before I used DE the last time. Brussels sprouts. They're going. I've not grown Brussels sprouts before, so this will be an experiment. So, I harvested broccoli. I have a couple more here that looks like they're kind of starting to put off some side shoots and stuff, so I'll probably harvest that in a day or two and pull it out. Cauliflower is looking good. You see them in there? Got a couple of really decent sized heads. Well, this one's the biggest one. That's a good sized head. I'll be coming out later and excuse me, sorry. I'll be coming out later and closing them up with a rubber band to try to keep some of the sun off them now that they're a couple inches wide, and keep the bugs off of them. Beets are looking really good. Look at that. That's a good sized beet. I don't know if you can see them. Oops. It's okay to move the dirt aside for a minute if you're trying to see how big they are. I always cover it back up. I'm not sure if you need to. I do though. So they're looking really good. Chew down just a little bit, but to me that's not enough of a concern to put anything on them. In fact, I might come out and harvest these leaves and dehydrate them also and put them in with the greens mix, because that's a good size one down there too. They're getting close to being time to pick anyway. But then you can use the leaves also for something. I don't eat greens per se, like to saute them, but I'll use them in other stuff. So these onions are looking really good in here. Some of their weed friends are looking really good. Now, interestingly enough, I just saw a video on one of the channels I follow, that 1870s Homestead, and she's actually from Michigan, my home state, and she oh, bug, and she cuts down the tops of her onions. I've never seen that done, so I might try that. I don't know if I'll try it right now, but maybe with the fall crop, because I'm going to put more in the fall. So just thought that was pretty interesting. Here are some of the tomatoes. This is one of them I bought. This is one of the Romas I bought to replace when we had that cold snap. We had lost like 5 or 6 of my I've been calling them or Amish paste because that's what I'm so used to planting. And actually, I started from seed Romas myself. It's just you get in that mindset where you're used to planting the same thing, and that's automatically what you say. So mine are Roma paste tomatoes also, not Amish paste. So, or Roma tomatoes. So anyway, get back to this. I had to replace like 5 or 6 plants when we had that cold snap come through. So that was one of them. Got some blossoms on it. I did come out this week and trim stuff up a little bit. I have a video out on that pruning. Looks like I need to come back and prune some more. This one's probably the smallest one right now, but he looks really healthy, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. And these are all Roma. And these 5 are all starts that I did. They did really well. Even, I mean, they were, if you go back and look at some of the videos before, they were like tiny, and then that's what they are now. So give them a little bit of time. Don't give up on them. So this is Roma. Most of these are Roma. Excuse me. And they're looking really good. This one was actually, I pruned a sucker off of this Rutgers, because this was one of the ones I replaced. And it's an heirloom, and I pruned a sucker off of there and stuck it in the ground here, and that's what it is. I mean, it looked rough for about a week. I think in last week's video it looked pretty rough too, but it's getting there. More of the aromas, and this is how I had mine trellised. You can see the clips. Like I said, I have a video on them. These are all pruned for the most part. A couple of them I couldn't prune too. They had gotten a little bit out of control, so that I wasn't sure which was the main stalk and which was a sucker. So I didn't want to take the top off, you know. So I know some people don't worry about that stuff, but I always am careful of that because I don't want to ruin my plant. I want to get as much out of it as I can. Come back over here to this side. These are the sweet peppers. They're all looking really good. Getting some blossoms, it looks like, on this one. It's got some basil stuck down in there. This Marconi's still really tiny. But I can get my fingers out of the way, but they're so tiny right now. A couple little peppers on that tiny little plant. Look, I'm serious, guys. This plant is like, my fingers are longer than it is high. This is a weed. Oh my gosh, look, I'm so excited. An orange bell pepper. Well, he's green right now, but I didn't even notice that one. They sneak up on you. These shadows are so hard sometimes to film it, so I apologize, guys. Let's see. I love finding, oh, there's another baby right there. Let's see if we can get a better angle. Oh, he's right there. And there's another one right there. They're coming. I'm so excited. And those are the green. I think those are my Big Bertha. Oh no, those are my gypsy peppers, which are like a blend. So, and these are my jalapenos. Looks like we might be getting some blossoms. Oh, got a little baby. I must have missed the blossom stage for that one. So yeah, they're all looking really good. The sunflowers, yeah, pretty small compared to the rest of them. The ants are on the sunflowers big time, but I've been told that that's normal. So here's let me go this side. Here's the other big corn bed. This is all the Burpees Triple Crown. It's a hybrid, so nothing with my Patty Pan squash yet. She's right in here. Hopefully Patty makes an appearance soon. Cucumbers, those are the National Pickling cucumbers. I did just plant these rows out to try and see how it does, because the cucumbers will trellis up over this from both sides. Hopefully that's the plan. And maybe give it a little bit of shade. We have rutabagas and parsnips, both 2 rows, and bok choy. Looks like some of the bok choy is actually coming up. I just planted those last Tuesday, I believe it was. So can't remember exactly. It was earlier this week. So, and I'm filming this on Friday to go up on Saturday. So French breakfast radishes are doing really good. So I put 3 more of the national pickling cucumber plants. I planted 3 more along here. The only one up is this one back here. I don't know if you can see it with the shadow, but it's a pretty decent size. And I planted 1 in the middle and 1 here, just behind the marker. But I'll probably have to replant those. I can't remember what the germination rate was on the package I got, but it's not a big deal. I'll replant them. Look how big this sunflower is getting. It's huge. How big that leaf is. Oops. Can you see that? It's huge. It'll be fun to see how big they get. And they're I'm probably gonna pronounce it wrong. The mama, the ones with the edible seeds for us. So that's my husband Brett was excited about that. So Shelby's mad because she can't come in, and she ate her stick I gave her already. So Shelby, go lay down. More of the tomatoes. So she's gonna bark at me the whole rest of the time now, so the kids will be awake. These are all Roma. All Roma in here. The yellow squash is looking good. It's looking pretty good. That's the baby yellow squash, so that'll need to be trellised up in a little while. Zucchini is getting blossoms on it. I'm going to come back and prune this a little bit more and trellis it up a little bit more. I've not trellised before, so I'm not positive how this is going to work out, to be honest with you. I don't know. We'll see. It's another experiment. Gardening for me is about experimenting and not just saying, okay, they said I can't do this, so I won't do it. Try to do your own thing. That's what it should be about. Sometimes, like I've said before, something might work for you that doesn't work for somebody else. There's the second zucchini that I planted. Those that smaller. I planted that yellow squash and this zucchini probably about a month after the bigger 2. So I was kind of trying to stagger a little bit. Watermelon. This watermelon plant I purchased after it was really cold out, because this watermelon plant had been planted about 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks before we got all that cold, and it hadn't done anything. So I was like, well, maybe it killed the seed. So the girls wanted watermelon, so I bought it. So now we have 2. So we'll see what happens. They're gonna have this whole half of this garden bed. So, and I'll just keep them pruned. More tomatoes. This is Mr. Stripey. This one and this one are Mr. Stripeys that I bought to replace some of them that have been taken out. So they're looking really good. And this one is the black cherry tomato that took the place of one that got taken out. These are my Romas that I started from seed. Not Amish paste, Roma, guys. Roma that I started from seed that were so tiny. I didn't trellis them even. I didn't put anything on them because I was like, oh, they're not going to survive. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to trellis them. Oh, I forgot to. We went down that aisle. The daisies kind of looking a little rough. but hopefully they'll make a comeback. I have some on the deck too, but one of them looks like that and the other one looks really good, so I don't know, but they're red up there. These are the cayenne or Tabasco peppers, and then the Thai basil that's getting overrun by the grass there. I gotta get that weeded out. And this is a Cherokee purple that I bought, and this is one of the ones I was saying that the pruning got a little bit, so I got 2 big stalks, but I'm not worried about it. It's fine. It happens sometimes, and you just go with what you got. This sunflower is getting eaten up by something, and that's the first time I've noticed that. I'm not sure what's eating it up. Huh, because the one right next to it, sorry guys if I get your finger sideways, there's that one. The one right next to it looks totally fine. Not sure. Here are my tenderette green beans, bush beans. This whole bed got some bug damage. I'll come out and put more DE on them. I did put some bone meal in there with them because they were looking kind of puny. They're supposed to be bush beans, but I don't know. A couple of them kind of look like they might be throwing runners. So I guess we'll see. I've not grown that tight before, so we'll see. This was the polyculture bed. I came in and pulled out all of the radishes and turnips. I think they were just too close together. So next time I do it, I'll make sure I space them a little bit more. The lettuce took off. Not sure how much longer that's going to last with the rain, but there are onions in there also, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with them. I may just end up pulling them and using this bed for something else. We'll see. These onions I should say, overwintered from last year, so I'm gonna grab some seeds off of there in a little bit. When it dries up, pull them out, and that's what I left them for, was for seeds. I figured if they could survive the winter, then they'll probably be a pretty hardy seed. Potato bed, look at that. They're huge. Brett and I actually pulled up a little plant. It must have been in the corner of this one. Yeah, right here. Out of the Yukon. Monday, sometime last weekend, I can't remember when now. And had some, decent sized potatoes. We pulled up a little plant here. Brett and I did sometime last weekend. They had some decent sized potatoes on it already. I'll put a picture of them so you can see. They're not huge. Wait for these to bloom, blossom, I should say, and die back before we harvest the rest of them. I think, judging on the size of those potatoes we had the other day, they have a little ways to go, but it's okay. Harvested most of the 45-day cabbage. These two I'll probably come back and get either today or sometime this week and pull them out. And then last but not least, my wimpy little Brandywine tomatoes that I started from seed. As you can see, they are in, the two that are in the sun, are in the shade, are smaller obviously, but they're still doing decently, I think. So we'll see what happens with them. There was one here that died. And these are I bought both of these. Tons of, can you see those little tiny, okay, come here, cooperate with me. You see those little tiny tomatoes right in there? See those little tiny tomatoes? I'm going to focus on them and not my finger. So this is the Candyland tomato. I'm not sure if it's a cherry tomato or, like I said before, if it's one of the ones that ripen, like that are the vine ripened ones you find in the store, but we'll find out how big they get. Here is the grape tomato that just a couple days ago only had one on it, and now, as you can see, several more on that one. And this sunflower has taken off. So, what are you gonna do? And last but not least, there's the garlic. It's getting ready to die back. This batch of garlic. This was actually overwintered from last year. So it's got scapes on it. I might come out and clip some of those and use them. It's dying back. It's dying back, and soon we should be able to harvest some garlic. I do have garlic in here that should come up the same way that that did. If it's the same variety and stuff. So okay, well, that's the garden tour, the big garden tour. Alrighty, hit the subscribe button, like the video, but most importantly, the biggest thing you can do to help our channel grow is to share it with your friends on social media. We try to do our best to provide as much as we can for our family on our 1/3 of an acre suburban lot. We do have a decent sized front yard too, so, and we do have yard on the other side of that fence, but that's the only place we're utilizing for our garden is this area right here. So we're doing what we can to provide what we can for ourselves. We are looking for a move. We will be making a move eventually to a bigger property, but right now this is where we're at, and we're doing what we can with what we have. So I hope you enjoyed the videos. If you have any suggestions for videos coming up that you would like to see, drop them in the comments below. And thanks for joining me today. Have a great day. See you in the next video.